last two words from the cross come from John and Luke. First from John chapter 19, verse 30. When Jesus had received the wine, he said, "It is finished." Luke chapter 23, beginning at verse 44. It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, while the sun's light failed and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Then Jesus, crying out with a loud voice, said, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." Having said this, he breathed his last. We began our journey as disciples by saying some form of, "Father, I commend myself and my life to you." And at the closing of Jesus' earthly life, and maybe at the end of ours, we'll say it again. Paul wrote something to the Corinthians when he was attempting to explain both his ministry and his faith. In 1 Corinthians chapter 2, Paul wrote, "For I decided to know nothing among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. To know Christ and to recognize that the Lord of all creation died to save me and to save you is so amazingly transformative." When you really sit back and think about what Good Friday means, not because we earned it, certainly not because we were so good, not because we had done all the religious acts right, but because of love. Jesus finishes the payment. It's so transformative that if you really start to think about it, it begins to reframe our lives, what it's for, what it's about, what truly matters, and what things we value. Thinking about Jesus giving everything for us to enter into a new kind of life, makes us think about what matters in our actions, about what matters in what we do. On this Good Friday, I want to ask you to take a moment to remember the life and actions of Jesus. His command to love God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love our neighbors as much as we love ourselves. To remember his compassion for those who were bound by demonic power, who were hungry, who were ill. To ponder his last week on earth and how he gave us the cup and the bread as reminders of himself. I invite you, if you're willing, between now and Easter morning, to read again the arrest and trial and crucifixion of Jesus. And as you do, to seek God's help and guidance to live the way Christ calls us to live. Good Friday is perhaps the most important day, other than Easter, in the Christian calendar. It's a reminder to us that God's love really did know no bounds. And it's a reminder to us that we also will pass from this life to the next. We will give an account to our God about how we lived. Jesus knew he'd finished all he was supposed to do. He had perfectly followed the will of God and gave himself to the Father in perfect peace. None of us will live this life perfectly. But it does matter what we choose to do. May this Good Friday for you be another beginning. A day to remember what really matters. Maybe to make a commitment to God before Easter. That this year you will choose to follow more closely the way of Christ. And to live in such a way so that when we come to the end of our lives, we might echo how the Lord ended his. May we all be able to say, "I'm finished. I did what I was called to do. I'm ready to meet my God."